So I'm Anandi, and I have a show at the 1905 on Saturday, May 10th at 10 p.m. It's the late show. It's going to be a very special show featuring AJ Alita on piano and Bill Athens on bass and Adam Carlson on drums. All top-notch musicians in the Portland area. AJ is a recent graduate of PSU and is making a name for himself in town, and he actually played the 1905 recently and sold out the joint. So you don't want to miss this magical evening with this great band. I actually have in the past, not in recent times, but in the past I have performed a great deal of what we would call the post-bop era contemporary jazz. That means that this is music from, I don't know, the 60s onward. And that basically has kind of a modal quality to the music, a less fast quality and more spacious quality. So that would be compositions by the likes of Wayne Shorter, Joe Henderson, Jimmy Rolls. I'm also doing a tune that I love to do called Precious. That's written by Portland's own Esperanza Spalding. So Precious lyrically has this kind of like tough edginess to it. It's talking about a relationship, and at the same time the music is super funky and soulful and just kind of moves you along and makes you kind of want to cheer for the person telling the song. So I'm from Portland, but I left Portland for quite a while, about a decade. And when I got back, I was making the rounds at the jams, and I would go to the Ronstein Jam a lot. I kept hearing about this singer, Esperanza Spalding. And one time I went to see Daryl Grant, actually, a professor at PSU. And he had been mentoring Esperanza Spalding. And he hired her to play bass for a CD release party, and I saw that show. She had hair out to here, and she was playing an acoustic bass, a little girl playing a big bass. And she knocked my socks off, and then I had to know more about her. And then as it turned out, right at that same time, she was releasing her first album called Esperanza. And I listened to that. At that time, she was actually teaching at Berkeley. So then I recorded Precious and performed it quite a bit over the years. All of the songs that I will perform, actually not all of them, most of them I have recorded. So I've always had a deep love for Wayne Shorter, and it all started with my dad's huge record collection, my dad, Nick Effro, and he had a native dancer in his collection, and I listened to that over and over and over and over, and I still want to do, I think it's called Beauty and the Beast. Such a great song. And also on that album were a lot of tunes that featured the great Brazilian singer Milton Nascimento. But in any case, that is how I found and fell in love with Wayne Shorter. So eventually, over time, I learned some of his tunes, and notably, the ones that I'll be doing on May 10th are Footprints, which he performed with Miles Davis, and Speak No Evil, which is a really fantastic high-powered tune. Footprints, the lyrics to that were written actually by a Bay Area singer named Kitty Margolis. And to my knowledge, there aren't any other lyrics to Footprints, but these are really beautiful lyrics that actually talk about the beauty of nature and how over time our history has guided us and has formed us. It's really poetry. And there are a number of songs in my set that are of that same kind of vibe, notably Recordame. Recordame, the lyrics were written by a great singer out in the Seattle area named Kelly Johnson. Kelly talks about how it's also very poetic, talks about our vision for our life and how to go forward and how to asks the question, are we going to follow our dreams? or not. So that is the question there. Speak No Evil also has this commanding message of how to proceed in life. So if you're looking for some soul searching, some music that will kind of help you redirect your mind towards how to go forward, this is your set. So you very rarely hear vocalists sing post-bop era music. And that is to say that this is music that was basically initially written as an instrumental, and then lyrics were added later. And Stolen Moments is a perfect example of that. So the Oliver Nelson composition, Stolen Moments, the lyrics were written by the great Mark Murphy, who lived out in the Bay Area, who he's since passed, but he was sort of the master of that. And he started out singing all the great standards when he was younger, and then over time he began to transcend into, discovering all of this other great music that wasn't necessarily in the Great American Songbook. You're going to hear a lot of great music by great lyricists, great vocalists, and most of them, actually many of them, live right here on the West Coast and in the Northwest. So this will be my first time playing with AJ Alita, and I'm really excited. He came highly recommended, and I got to play with him at a jam one time, and it was super fun. So that's going to be a great experience, a maiden voyage, if you will. And then Bill Athens on bass. I've worked with Bill for decades, and I just love him and his playing. And a funny story about Adam Carlson, the drummer, he was actually a sub for another wonderful drummer that I love, but I ended up actually hiring Adam because he was available and he was new to town. He's becoming less available now. But he is going to be there on May 10th, and this is a super strong, high-level musicianship, this band. So usually I call the music that I'm playing in my set on May 10th, I usually play with my band that I call Anandi and Friends, and literally it really is friends. I'm playing with people close to my heart, and I hope that you'll join us for this magical evening. The 1905, Saturday, May 10th at 10 o'clock. See you there.
Perfect.